Every time you sign a consent form. Every time a doctor or a study has to explain the risks and let you say no. Every time a piece of research has to be approved by an ethics board before it can even begin. You are being protected by a set of rules. And those rules were not written out of kindness. They were written in response to horror. This is the story of the experiments that crossed the line. These are not myths or urban legends. They really happened, carried out by respected institutions, governments, and scientists. And their consequences are the reason the modern world treats human beings, in research, the way it does. Because before these lines were crossed, there were no lines at all. So what actually happened? How did trusted scientists justify the unthinkable? And how did the aftermath force the entire world to invent the idea of consent out of the simple, radical right to say no? Let's start with the betrayal that changed everything. In 1932, in Tuskegee, Alabama, the U.S. Public Health Service began a study on syphilis. They enrolled around 600 poor black men. The men were told they were being treated for something called bad blood. They trusted the doctors. But they were not being treated at all. The men who had syphilis were deliberately left untreated so that doctors could study how the disease destroyed a human body over time. And here is the part that is hardest to forgive. In the 1940s, penicillin became a proven, simple cure. The men were never given it. The study just continued. For 40 years. 40 years of watching men suffer and die from a disease that could have been cured in an afternoon. It only ended in 1972, when the truth was leaked to the press. Tuskegee became one of the most infamous betrayals in medical history, and a brutal lesson the world could not ignore. But Tuskegee was not alone. In 1939, researchers ran an experiment on a group of orphan children. Their goal was as cruel as it sounds, to try to induce a stutter in perfectly healthy kids, through constant negative, belittling speech. Children, with no parents to protect them, and no ability to consent, used as material for an experiment. It became known, grimly, as the monster study. Then, in the 1960s, at Yale, a psychologist named Stanley Milgram asked a chilling question. How far will an ordinary person go, just because someone in authority tells them to? Volunteers were ordered to deliver what they believed were increasingly powerful electric shocks to another human being in the next room. A quick pause. If stories like this one fascinate you, take a second to subscribe. It's free, and it helps more of these forgotten histories reach the people who'd love them. A like tells the algorithm this was worth your time, and if you know a part of this story I didn't tell, share it in the comments. Now, back to it. The shocks weren't real. The suffering was staged. But the volunteers didn't know that. And as the screams from the next room grew, and the authority figure calmly said, "Please continue," most of them did. All the way to what they believed could be a lethal jolt. It revealed something terrifying about human nature. But it also left its participants deeply shaken, deceived and traumatized in the name of science. A decade later came the Stanford Prison Experiment. Ordinary students were split into guards and prisoners in a fake basement prison. Within days, the guards grew so cruel, and the prisoners so broken, that the study meant to last 2 weeks was shut down in just 6 days. It's since been criticized, fairly, for its methods, but the ethical alarm it raised was real. You cannot do this to people. And then there are the horrors of war, which went far darker still. During the Second World War, a covert Japanese program known as Unit 731 carried out lethal experiments on prisoners, testing diseases and weapons on living human beings. Thousands died. It is among the most monstrous chapters in the history of science. And the aftermath is almost as disturbing as the crime. Because after the war, rather than face justice, many of the program's key scientists were reportedly granted immunity by the United States in exchange for the data they had gathered. The knowledge was kept. The horror was buried. And it wasn't only in war. In the decades that followed, the CIA ran a secret program called MKUltra, experiments in mind control that included dosing people, often without their knowledge or consent, with powerful drugs like LSD. Ordinary citizens turned into test subjects without ever being asked. It stayed hidden until government investigations dragged it into the light in the 1970s. Look across all of these, and a single, sickening pattern emerges. In every case, powerful people decided that some human beings did not deserve a choice. The poor, the sick, children, prisoners, the unsuspecting, people who could not, or were never allowed to, say no. That is the line. And for a long, dark stretch of history, almost nobody was stopping anyone from crossing it. But out of all this horror, something crucial was finally built. The world looked at what had been done, and said, never again. And it started writing the rules. The rules we now take completely for granted. After the Nazi trials came the Nuremberg Code, which declared that voluntary, informed consent is absolutely essential. Then came the Declaration of Helsinki, setting ethical principles for all medical research. And after Tuskegee was exposed, the Belmont Report and ethics review boards were created, so that no study could ever again begin without independent people asking one simple question. Is this right? So the next time you sign a consent form, or a study patiently explains the risks and gives you the freedom to walk away, don't see it as a boring formality. See it for what it truly is. A hard-won shield. Every one of those protections exists because of someone who was never offered it. The rules that guard you were written in the aftermath of the people who weren't guarded at all. That is the strange, sober gift these dark chapters left us. Their victims were failed in the worst ways imaginable. But their suffering forced the world to draw a line, and to promise to defend it. The least we can do is remember why that line is there. History's darkest corners teach us how far people can fall. But its brightest ones show how much beauty they can create. Next time, we travel across India to meet the sacred, hand-carved masks that have kept its myths and spirits alive for centuries. See you then.